Good evening and welcome. So we were discussing downstairs before we sort of, prepared to come up and take seats or take the stage, and realized that it's actually been 2 years since we did an instrumental concert on the stage. The last one we did was Christmas 2019. So it's nice to get back on stage and perform for an audience. And I guess one of the outcomes of this pandemic is enhancing our tech ability. So many friends and family at home or elsewhere watching on the live stream, I hope. So we'll get started here with our Blue Knights Jazz Ensemble. Dr. Mackey and I are both playing with the group just to kind of help fill in some parts. Dr. Mackey's on trumpet tonight. Not planned. In this day and age, illness can mean something a little different. It means you need to stay away. So he was going to fill in on just some extra parts in the background, but our student who had been working on lead trumpet and solos and stuff just couldn't be here. So I promise he's not doing this just to showboat. He's actually really helping us out. He's a pianist by trade. Pretty good trumpet player, and had to get his chops in shape to be able to play. So. Like yesterday, right. So our first tune, it's not specifically a Christmas song, but it's a nice blues, Tenor Madness. That record by Sonny Rollins is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the only recording that was made with both Sonny Rollins and John Coltrane together. So here we go. This is Tenor Madness.
So, on that tune, you heard JP on the piano, Antonio on the guitar, and some trading fours between Bryce and DJ back here on the bass and drums. All right. And this guy up here going, because the lips aren't working anymore. All right. So, one of the reasons that we started with the blues is because it's the blues, right? And this is the core of all things jazz, actually all things American music. Got to start with the blues. And so, one of our goals in working on the blues was moving past just simply the blues scale, right, or a collection of notes that kind of work on every chord, but actually playing the changes, right? And what we mean by that, changing every measure where there's a different chord, we're moving into a different set of notes, right? And so on that particular rendition of blues, there was a jazz blues, again, a little different than what you hear in rock or even in the old style blues. So there's a couple extra chord changes in there for the guys to have to negotiate, right? And so with that, taking that a step further, it's also the idea of communication. In jazz, we don't just play notes, okay, but we're listening to one another. We're listening to the accompaniment. We're taking what one person beside us is playing, and we use that in our own solo. You probably heard that even more so in the trading fours between Bryce and DJ, right? And so much of this music, yes, is theory. There's a lot of work that we've done in that regard, but also, too, is the listening. You really have to be a democratic individual to play your part of the collective. So now moving into some Christmas tunes here. This is a bossa nova version or a Latin jazz rendition of It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. So you notice the groove is going to change a little bit. It takes us into a slightly different realm for both our melody and for our solos. Here we go.
That was John Beeson on the piano. And Dr. Mackey helping out again on the flugelhorn. So we were discussing, okay, what do we want to? We could change up the sound for the horn on the bossa, So it could have stayed on trumpet, could have used the melodica, which would have been cool in a different way. Yeah. Kind of a keytar that you blow into, if you want to imagine that. Would have changed the vibe of the evening, I think. So, but we settled, let's do the flugelhorn. And the guys were like, what's a flugelhorn? And she said, guys, this is basically a fat trumpet, okay? It's just a fat trumpet. A little bit bigger, conical bore amongst other things, but nice sound for that tune. And it kind of does sound a little bit more fat, doesn't it? So, but Dr. Mackey does more for this class than just fill in and play the horn. We actually co-direct this group. He's here as our choir director and directs the mask, but the doctorate comes from a PhD in jazz studies. So involving him in the jazz band was a really important thing to do. So these guys who are in here to especially learn improvisation and soloing, and the guys who work in the rhythm section especially, since that actually is Dr. Mackey's specialty as a jazz player. The instructional level he offers them is really high, so it's not just a pretty horn, I guess, right? We're going to finish up our set with, we're going to go back to some swing. It's not a blues, but it's a swing. Come back to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Each of our groups requires a little bit different setup, so we'll take just a few moments to switch the stage around for our string ensemble. At this point, our concert band members could head down to the PAC and tune up your instruments and get ready for your turn. All right, thank you for giving us a few minutes there. So this is our string ensemble. We'll be playing 3 tunes for you. The first one is an arrangement of the well-known Christmas carol, Good King Wenceslas. Okay, the next tune's a little bit longer than that one was. That was kind of a shorter one to get warmed up, hear the sound of the hall and all of that. The next one's Skater's Waltz. Well-known song, not specifically a Christmas song, but well-known around wintertime, composed by Emil Waldteufel, 1880-something, but I forget which year exactly. German composer, but was inspired by ice skaters in Paris, and again, it's just a really well-known tune. This is one that these guys have worked really hard on, so we hope you enjoy Skater's Waltz. I'll be playing on this one. Some of the tunes we do work well with a quartet, which is the instrumentation is typically 2 violins, viola, and cello. But that can be limiting if some of the music we want to play requires a bass, which isn't, the cello line is different. So fortunately, I don't play strings, but I play the clarinet, and that instrument blends really well with strings. So that's not a weird-looking saxophone. That's a bass clarinet that I'll be playing here with the group. So this is Skater's Waltz. All right, the string ensemble's final piece of the concert will be a medley of both Jingle Bell Rock and Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. We couldn't do that song without jingle bells. So none of us up here are playing an instrument that we can do that while we also play our primary thing here. So we recruited one of our percussionists. So Nathaniel Austin is joining us back there on the jingle bells. All right, and again, give us just a few minutes, a little longer than it took to get them set up. We'll get the concert band up and ready on stage. A few more people to get up here and a few more things to move, but we'll be pretty quick. like I said, it's been 2 years since we did a concert on this stage. I don't know why. That was one of the faster stage switches the concert band has done. So I'm not sure what to think of that. So. Good job. Thanks again to Dr. Mackey. That's not a much older student back there in the percussion section. Again, helping cover some parts because of illness. So not to draw attention to him, but it's appreciated. He's like, don't make a big deal out of my timpani debut, please. All right, our first piece as the concert band will be Themes from the Nutcracker by Tchaikovsky. So it's been interesting at times to work this fall back as a concert band. A lot of people don't understand, some of the others in even the school community here at Central Catholic, that what the band does when they're not on the football field in this setting is really quite different. Different style of music, different approach to rehearsing, different approach to the preparation. The whole point is different to perform in a concert hall as it is on a football field. And the preparation is just a different mindset. And to not do that last year, it was definitely a little difficult to get back at it. Again, the type of instruction and rehearsal in the classroom is just a little different. And they've worked really hard to kind of get back at it. It was, when we start the year with, as the marching band, with last year not being able to travel to a games, start this year with half of the band, freshmen and sophomores, never having marched a halftime show. And by the same token, in this setting, as a concert band, really half the band hadn't rehearsed in this ensemble at Central and Oakland Catholic as a concert band. So to sort of learn that process and learn that function to play in this style. It's not easy. It's not just pass out the music and go. Everyone knows how to play the instruments. Yay, great. So they've worked really hard. I'm proud of what they're doing for you tonight. And so our next piece is an arrangement of Silent Night. I feel like we just got started, and now here we are at the last piece. So thank you for listening tonight. Thanks to everybody who helped out. I kept saying it, but Dr. Mackey really stepped in to help cover some things with this this concert. Hopefully the guys who couldn't make it tonight were at least able to watch live be a part of it that way. Thanks as always to the administration at Central and Oakland Catholic for their support of the program. I could go on about how they've supported that, and it's in very meaningful ways that we have a good music program here at Central Catholic. So thank you to both schools. And shout out to my students helping out in the back there, helping me with the sound and the video. JP Danielle, who was doing duty up here with the jazz band, and Joe Stern back there helping out as well. So Joe's in one of the other classes I teach that's not a performing class, audio engineering. So he's kind of been working in there to learn the ropes a little bit. So he stepped in tonight to help handle a little bit of our live sound. So we will finish up tonight for you with a medley of Let It Snow and Winter Wonderland. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed tonight's performance. Have a safe and Merry Christmas.